When we think that emotion equals weakness, how are we supposed to create safety and security within ourselves if there's always something that we feel like we need to escape all the time? And that's when I started understanding that, oh, I've been suppressing my emotions for as long as I can remember. We need to learn to talk about our pain, we need to learn to talk about our joy, and we need to learn to remove the stigma around speaking emotions, talking about emotions as men. Okay, it's true that I have fear here. Would denying that or shaming that or thinking that I shouldn't be vulnerable, I shouldn't be weak, I shouldn't express that, does that make it better? No, of course not. It's going to haunt you forever. It's going to haunt you through the rest of your life until you're actually wanting to take a look at it. I remember a time when I used to believe that emotion equaled weakness. And I think if you're a man watching this, I think that, us thinking this has been extremely common for, I think, most men for a very, very long time. And I believe that the reason it's so hard for us men to talk about emotions is because back in the day, if we would have shown emotion on the battlefield or at war or whatever, we would be more likely to die, right? So it wasn't a time and place then to express emotion, to express if we were scared or sad or angry or something like that. Because if we got overtaken by emotion back in the day when we were at war, we would have most likely been killed, right? So we had to stay on top of them. We had to suppress emotion. The problem is that when we do suppress emotion, we will always signal to our nervous system that whatever we are feeling is not okay. We will be in a constant state of survival, fight or flight. And that's exactly what we used to do back in the day, right? We had to be in survival because it was all about survival. We needed to protect our family, we needed to protect our country, our tribe, we needed to hunt. So showing emotion wasn't as necessary, or actually showing emotion would have been detrimental for our own survival perhaps. We're still battling with this fact that showing emotion equals weakness. And I grew up like this. I used to be completely shut off emotionally growing up. I couldn't connect with girls on a deeper level that I wanted to. And I was so scared of rejection, I was so scared of abandonment, of being lonely. I always wanted to make people feel good about me. But I was so scared of expressing my own emotions that I was just like putting them on a pile inside of myself. My nervous system was so tense, and I've had so much fear in my nervous system for as long as I can remember. Fear of everything. Fear of, like I said, being rejected or being abandoned or needing to be liked. Fear about failure, fear of success. And I've seen all of this as weakness. I've seen all of these emotions as weakness, and I've been trying to escape them at the same time as having them on the inside. So I've been in constant denial towards my own emotions for a very, very long time. And when we do this, when we think that emotion equals weakness, how are we supposed to create safety and security within ourselves if there's always something that we feel like we need to escape all the time or deny? Like, whatever I'm feeling is not okay. It's not okay to be scared. It's not okay to be sad. It's not okay to be angry. It's not okay to feel depressed or hopeless. I'm a man. I need to move forward. I need to do all these things. I need to prove to myself and to others that I'm capable. But this pain is, it's too much sometimes. Like, how are we supposed to live normal, healthy, happy lives if we're not expressing what is hurting us, right? Wouldn't you say that expressing our pain, expressing our emotions is more authentic than denying them? Of course it is, right? We're speaking from a place of truth. Now, it doesn't mean that we should break down and become victims and complain about our life and complain about our circumstances and give away all our power that we have to do anything about our own situation. Of course not. It doesn't mean going into victimization. It means acknowledging the fact that, okay, I'm human. I do have pain. I do have fear. I do have anger. I do have sadness. I do have all of these things, shame, guilt as well. Whether we like it or not, whether we decide to take a look at our pain or not, it will always be there. So, a very important step for myself was when I finally acknowledged the fact that I had pain on the inside. Like I said, I've been plagued by this sense of underlying fear for really everything in life. Fear of being unsafe, fear of being weak, fear of being seen as weird, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of you name it, all of these things, right? And I think we all do have these fears inside of ourselves, pretending that we don't, pretending that we have conquered them all, right? When I was 20, I had a really bad incident with a psychedelic substance that put me in a extremely traumatic sort of state. And that took a very long time to recover from. But that was also one of the best things that has ever happened to me, because that event showed me how much fear I have on my inside. And I felt so threatened by everything. Like when I was out walking on the street, for example, I used to like calculate everything, like being on guard all the time, right? And this is not the way of life. But the problem is that most people, they function like this. Most men and women perhaps walk around being in a state of survival all the time, fight or flight, constantly like calculating and looking out for threats in our surroundings. Exhausting to live like this. So when I finally started opening my heart to pain, when I finally understood that, oh, I have a lot of pain on the inside, that was about 3.5, 4 years ago. And I had the craziest panic attack of my life. And I had all of these flashbacks going back to that trip I told you about. I basically had to go through again what I did in that trip. And I was like, I thought I was gonna die. I was severely panicked. I was freaking out like crazy. And it was going on for like maybe 3 hours or so. But after that, it felt like I took off a backpack filled with rocks. Like I physically felt 50 kilos lighter. And that's when I started understanding that, oh, I've been suppressing my emotions for as long as I can remember. Okay, is this what life is supposed to be like when we actually start to share what we have been through? And of course, time and a place to share, safe space, man-to-man talking, right? But when we learn to finally talk about these things, all the shame and stigma and guilt around our traumas and insecurities and pain and everything, they will start to diminish and fade. And wouldn't you say that it requires more courage to talk about this than not talking about it, right? And so the biggest challenge for most men would be to actually start expressing what we're feeling, man to man, of course. That's a challenge to talk about these things, because it's been so ingrained in us to not talk about these things, to not say when we're sad or when we're feeling shameful or scared or something. It's been so suppressed in us that the biggest challenge that we can usually go through on our journey, or one of the biggest challenges when we are trying to better ourselves and wanting to find more peace on the inside, is to actually start talking about our pain. And when we start doing that, we will actually kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We will learn what it's like to be vulnerable, not weak, but vulnerable as in authentic. I'm expressing what is true, what is real. Okay, I do have this pain. Okay, I do have fear here. I'm scared around this area. That's the first thing. We will learn what it's like to express our emotions. Perfect. That will cause us to grow. And then the challenge from doing so will also cause us to grow. Because when we face challenges, that is a clear sign for growth, right? We're doing something that is out of the ordinary. We're challenging ourselves. We're facing a fear. The fear of expressing ourselves or expressing our pain as we are, right? Expressing ourselves as we are. And when we learn to do this, our heart will start to open up. And when our heart starts to open up, we will leave the state of survival. Because survival only exists in the mind, right? Survival only exists in the future, in the past. I need to do this, I need to do that. I need to move away from here, I need to move towards something. I need to manipulate my circumstances to make myself feel good on the inside. But we're avoiding all of this pain that we have accumulated from all throughout our life. We need to learn to talk about our pain, we need to learn to talk about our joy, and we need to learn to remove the stigma around speaking emotions, talking about emotions as men. Like, I can't believe that this is still a thing. You know, when you hear all of these masculine coaches and whatever, mentors online, social media, YouTube, saying that vulnerability equals weakness, that men shouldn't be vulnerable. Of course we should. It's the path to the heart. Otherwise we will live stuck in the mind about an idea that I'm supposed to be this guy, I'm supposed to be this way, I'm supposed to be like these men on YouTube or social media talking about this sort of stuff. No, you're supposed to be you, right? You're supposed to feel into your own state what is true for you. Okay, it's true that I have fear here. Would denying that or shaming that or thinking that I shouldn't be vulnerable, I shouldn't be weak, I shouldn't express that, does that make it better? No, of course not. It's going to haunt you forever. It's going to haunt you through the rest of your life until you're actually wanting to take a look at it. So this is actually my goal, to bring men together, being able to talk about these things that we know it's happening in reality, right? Denying it would be insanity because it's real, it's true. We do have pain. And it's confusing being a man in today's society. We're not sure where our place is. We're being told by society that we don't need men anymore, right? So we have to figure this out. We have to learn what it's like to be a man 2024 going into 2025, learning what it's like to process our pain, to feel our pain. It's nothing bad with pain. It's nothing dangerous with pain. Well, most people actually believe that pain is dangerous, that there's something in my body, in my nervous system, that is going to be harmful to me. I can tell you that it's not. It's going to be the opposite. But it's the survival type of mechanism, looking at the pain from a place of survival, saying that this is dangerous. Yes, because it's in survival. It's not dangerous, but the mind convinces us that it is dangerous to feel certain emotions. But it's not. It's not going to kill us. We don't have to be scared of emotions. We don't have to be scared of fear. We don't have to be scared of shame, guilt, sadness, anger, right? They are there for a reason. They are like messengers for us. So I always see pain as gifts. It's like, oh, a gift from God, a gift from the universe, a gift from whatever you want to call it, a gift from reality. I'm going to take this gift. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to work with whatever is being presented to me instead of working against it. I'm not going to deny the fact that I have fear here, or shame, or guilt, or trauma from my childhood. I would never deny that. I used to do that for a long time, and I also used to be severely depressed with panic attacks, thinking that my life wasn't worth living. I had so much shame around my pain as a man, because I hadn't been taught how to express it in a healthy way. And I believe that this is what we really need to teach young boys nowadays. We need to really teach them that emotions are not supposed to be suppressed. They're supposed to be shared with other men, perhaps, that have gone through what they're going through. We don't have to share it to women. We don't have to share our emotions with girls. That's okay. We can share it towards each other, right? To build that brotherhood again. Because this is one of the things that is going to change the world in the most fascinating way I see it. Because I feel like a lot of people are walking around being severely feeling unsafe, feeling uncertain about the current state of the world and their lives and where we're going, our way into the future, right? So how do we create more safety within ourselves? I believe it's up to us men to do that, to take the lead, to start feeling safe on the inside first. Imagine if we all had been able to develop such great compassion and acceptance for our own pain and for our own life that we would be unbothered by fear, shame, guilt, sadness, anger. That whenever those sensations or emotions arose in everyday life, we'd be like, oh, this is shame. Okay, cool. I'll work with that. This is guilt. I'll work with that. Oh, this is fear. Okay, interesting. I'm above the fear. I'm not below the fear. I'm not freaking out. I'm not thinking that just because I feel scared that I'm under threat. I'm able to stay above the emotion. And when we learn to do this, we will feel safe in our nervous system regardless of what happens in the external world. And when we do that, women will start to trust us more. Because if we feel safe on the inside, women will naturally feel safe to be around us. And when that happens, we can learn to take the lead again. We can lead ourselves and women and children into a better future. And so that's why I find it so incredibly important that we do this work as men, that we learn what it's like to feel our pain without resistance, without freaking out, without breaking down, being a victim, crying, thinking that the world is going to end just because we have a little bit of fear or shame or trauma in our nervous system. It's not who we are. It's stuck in here because we have denied it for so long. We are suppressing it. We're thinking that this shouldn't be here. This is not okay. So we're treating something that is inside of ourselves like an enemy that we need to cut out from life and delete from life. Of course it's going to create tension. Of course it's going to create a sense that we are unsafe on the inside, that this is not okay. And of course that is going to be felt by people around us. Women, they will feel that we are not safe on the inside. And when they feel that we are not safe on the inside, they will not feel safe in our presence. And when that happens, they will start taking charge instead, and they will go their own way. And that's what we see in society today. We see men against women, women against men, almost like we are opponents. We're not opponents, we're opposites. We need each other, we attract each other. We're exactly the same in terms of value, exactly the same, but we offer different sort of aspects to life, right? We offer different sort of strengths. Women, they are the soul and the heart of society. And men, we are the spine and the muscle of society. And we need to find this way back again. And to be able to do this, we want to process our pain. So this is, I can't stress this enough. When I learn to feel my pain without resistance, pain becomes more pleasurable than pleasure, because there's nothing in me telling me that this is not supposed to be here. I don't feel unsafe just because I'm feeling certain emotions. Of course we have emotions. We're human. We're supposed to feel this way. Maybe 200 years ago, feeling emotions as men wouldn't be the most optimal thing for survival. But nowadays, it's transitioning, right? We're really transitioning out from a place of survival into a place of abundance and feeling love, feeling connected with one another again. Most important step is to learn to feel our pain. And I want to create this space of like allowing men to express what they're feeling, allowing men to express what they're struggling with, their challenges, and so that we can come together. Because in reality, like we're really struggling with the same things, all of us. Fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, we have trauma from upbringing, we have depression, we have panic attacks, we have stress, we have worry about the future, we have all of these things. And we all have it. We're all in the same boat, but we're thinking that somehow that it's not okay to feel this way, right, for ourselves. So we're like trying to guard our own pain in a sense. So we have to get better at this. We have to learn what it's like to speak, and speak about emotions in a masculine, healthy way that we can share together and bond around our pain, really, right? What's your take on emotions? What's your take on all of these things that I'm talking about? Do you find it difficult to express yourself? Do you find it difficult? Do you think it's weakness to talk about emotions as well, like a lot of men do? Do you feel like it's something that we shouldn't do? Do you feel like it's something that you think that you're denying or hiding? Or do you feel like it's something that you're really great at? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear about your journey as well. If you want help with any of this, if you want help with emotional work or mindfulness or learning how to meditate, click the first link in my description and apply for my coaching if you're interested in that. The second link is my Patreon if you want exclusive type of content. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment as well, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.